The year is 1957, the year of the first ascension, the year of our supersession, the fear that our eyes are red and the fear of our real contention that we're slipping into second, that we're just another entry, this year's the year of the century. Allies, silent sideline pledges all lies, while our skyfleet dredges all eyes on the SU centers, this year's the year of the century, 1 year of our ascent to space is our fear. We resent the race, but live I present my case in this year of the century, listen. If you thought this was a battle in the lab, if you forgot this was a matter of the flag, and if you'd rather haphazardly brawl and stab, home of the brave, listen, we're breaking this just in. Luna 2 in orbit, bordering our explorer, our heaven ascent was boring, our 7 just tipped the scoreboard again, effortlessly nuisances, meddling with communist roots and readily bearing fruits inhuman. We need some solution where to start. Attrition, our schools, should we brutal ruthless crack down on the foolish rules, don't back down on our front position, frontiers were our one ambition, they'll rob the gold with conviction, who knows in this competition that we're not gonna lose, cause listen, if you thought this was a battle in the lab, if you forgot this was a matter of the flag, and if you'd rather haphazardly brawl and stab, home of the brave, listen, we're breaking. If you thought this was a battle in the lab, if you forgot that NASA isn't all we have, and if you thought we're haphazardly brawling stabs, the home of the brave, we're unafraid. Credit where credit's due, as we stare each other down, notice me and I'll notice you. When we look back in a decade, all eyes on 62, quite a fight between the restless arriving, our contestants. In this corner, step right out the way, right out the gate, they step right up to the plate. Amassing ammunition in a nation of tin and slate in the back with Gagarin tearing around the planet. No hesitation, mechanized conveyors that spit out the gears and sprockets, regular purveyors of red spray paint on rods and sockets, million miles out from the stage, but you can hear the rockets trembling their silver lockets. We all look got a heart of gold, we've got a heart of cold metal like the factory's sold. We don't want it, but we know we have been twice enrolled in a race of vile sanity's been a race consumed by vanity. Help the state and sell your soul. Quiet, I can hear the gears turning. I can smell the fire burning. Miracles of machinery inside the ring. Let the industry do its thing. Meanwhile, in this corner they blew right out the gate, right out the hate, and arrived at it late. We were blinded by attrition, don't mean to make you wait. We're back with factories, hacking together magic 628. We gotta keep the pace, respect us or we sock it to 'em. We're the world police, the peacekeepers you're talking to 'em. First turn to the space race, we're gonna spark a duel. Vehement disagreement, express feelings with rocket fuel. Cause that's just who we are, clash ideologies but assembly line or spar, and yet we're still insisting that we've gotten so far, not because it's easy but because it's hard. This just in, we made a promise we're gonna keep. We're gonna need more employees to cut down on the sleep, so join our innovation or just stay counting sheep, cause before the turn into 70 we make a giant leap. Someone touches their boots down on another land, a grayscale oasis, untarnished by man, unknown wonder of machinery, lurches down to the sand. Faceless hero, single 1 million zeros. Quiet, I can hear the gears turning. I can smell the fire burning. Mechanized monstrosities inside the ring. Let the metal bells of freedom sing. Meanwhile, alright, countless heroes, an army in the bubble, stumbling forward, all caught in the rubble as we double our numbers, combust in the run-up, 500's chance of fumbling the one-up. But what can stop us? Eyes on the prize, it's a sign of the times. Rise with the tide and decline with the fire. Eyes on the prize, it's a sign of the times. We're doing just fine, just deny the denier. Wait, how to react to the passing of our pastor, our master? Charismatic lad shot smack in the back of the head. Do we pass through the dead? Do we raise up the flag and dash faster ahead? Or do we load more weight to every word that he said? Placed on trains that he heard in his head. May we play those tapes, hear the word of the dead. Hear me now, we'll fly like a bird from the nest. Fuel and metal on wings, caught in its throat so it stifles its singing, caught in its eyes so it's stinging, but it shakes off the debris and the bluebird's got its eyes on the prize, it's a sign of the times. Rise with the tide and decline with the fire. Eyes on the prize, it's a sign of the tide. We're doing just fine, just deny the denier. Wait, How to react to the passing of a Soviet captain, the master of craftsmen planning with passion. Do we raise up the flag or relax and act like it never had actually happened? We know poor fate, we've had to endure our fair share as of late. We crash and we burn, is it their turn to pay? Anyway, quarter love. Deepest tights from different nations, foreign flags set on the same location. Through the clouds we're wide-eyed in our spaceship, raise our hands of life for celebration. No red line to chase, no global record pace, no Apollo to ever fly to space. 5,000's chance of staying in the same place. But we fly with our eyes on the prize, it's a sign of the times. Rise with the tide and decline with the fire. Eyes on the prize, it's a sign of the times. We're doing just fine, just deny the denier. Look up. Countdown. One small step, 10 million screams, 10 trillion hairs raised, man and machine live on the airwaves. What I wouldn't imagine was done for that one small step. 10 giant leaps from crater to crater. If I could leap today to years later, I would know what I couldn't imagine will come from that one small step. It's the end of an era, the start of a new one. Apollo 11, replay the 2-1. Frivolous blissfulness caught up in who won. Neil Collins and Buzz in history books, they face chapter headers, they cast solemn looks, and wrapped in the letters the millions it took. Cause that's our shadow back in the dust, that's how rough it was, that's how rough it was. And though we step back through the war it was, we should step back, this is more than us. Echoes of blue and white, projected like marbles in empty skies against the starry night. Tongues of vermilion flame, metal melting like red orange pain, the same as what we felt like. We look in the mirror, take it in, is what we feel fear or gratefulness. 69 was the year, so rake it in, but we can't feel sincere hatefulness. Cause that's our shadow back in the dust, that's how rough it was, that's how rough it was. Though we step back through the war it was, we should step back, this is more than us. Cause those 7 million telescopes are talking about stars and stripes on the moon. There's 7 billion people saying prayers that they could visit there soon. There's 7 billion people holding hands in awe of the big white balloon. There's 20 billion future plans to scan and sample the dunes. And from the Sputnik to Apollo, through the roughnecking and the hollers, we pushed each other to be better, each a necessary step for what followed. This year we're living in is the one, half a century all was said and done. And looking back now, far as I'm concerned, everybody's won, everybody's won, everybody's won.